Okay, welcome everybody. It's a lovely Tuesday, November 11th. And during this virtual brown bag, I'm going to be presenting a summary of a conference that Chris Lake and I attended together called Commerce Catalyst 25, E-Commerce Elevated. And so I've got a lot to cover. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to fit it within the time that we have before Q&A, but I'm gonna do my best. And if I don't, then you'll all have copies of the slide deck and you can check it out later. So Catalyst 25 is mainly e-commerce focused, and that's a specialty of mine with a Baymard Institute e-commerce professional certification that I have to be able to do UX audits for some of our clients that are centered around e-commerce and ADA compliance. So this conference was of particular interest to both of us. And I attended, let me go to the next slide here, 10 sessions. I'm going to be summarizing 6 of those 10 this afternoon. And we're going to get into the first one right now, the 4 challenges of improving conversion rates. This is with Smart Crow, Chris Daly. And those 4 challenges were the expert opinion, knowing what to test and change, feeling the need to do something big or dramatic, and needing and assigning design and dev resources when making those changes. So this is directly tied to how to improve conversion rates for e-commerce product pages. And there were 3 testing processes. The first was the existence, the second exploiting, and the third exploring. So under step 1, what should be on the site? What content should be on the site? The second is what exactly do people want? And the third was what could we add to the site? And Chris emphasized needing to do all 3 of these. So here's some examples, some visual examples. The first one on existence testing, we asked what content should we have on key pages of the site? What's optional? What click rate data do we have that supports that content, and where is it? And how do we challenge the current assumptions? So we use the data to speak to what the priority should be. And then in this example I'm about to show you, this was a homepage test that was 3 weeks. And the content that they were testing, what content should be on the page. And the hypothesis was use a control version and then best guess homepage based on competitor content. So they looked at competitors in their space. What did they have on their pages? And then in this test, they did 4 variations. And this is what they changed on each variation. They removed certain things, and then this is the result. So you can see on the left, this was the original layout. Version 1 and then 3 and 4 are shown. And you can see the changes that they made from version 1, 3, and 4. So on version 1, they removed the new arrivals section from the original. And they tested that. That was one of the tests. Version 3, they removed the gear on your level. That was, that piece. And on the version 4, they removed the discover section. And then they tested those over 3 weeks. And as you can see here from the slide, version 3 got 26.4% increase in conversion rates based on that change of removing the gear on your level. It helped users focus on the new arrivals and then the shop essentials section, and that's what worked. The second step on exploit testing was exactly what should the sections look like, say, and where should they be positioned? What are the possibilities for a given section? What are the most important to the customer? And what content should we display near the price? So in this next test, these are the 4 versions that they did on the hypothesis. How did they want to move the key value props near the price and that's what they were changing. So in this example, you'll see the original was on the left, and we have a version 2, 3, and 4 options and what they did. So you can see on version 2, they did these little icons. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but there's little icons underneath the product images. It's hidden behind, you know, what the results were. But there were like shipping icons and return icons and things like that. So they moved those icons underneath the images. That was one test. Version 3, they did drop downs under the images, like with the reviews, and you can see that this pushed the actual buy now buttons off first view. Version 4 was a 30-day free returns near the price, okay? And ironically, version 3 got the highest conversion rate, even though from a UX best practices guideline, it would have been intuitive or non-intuitive rather, to push the buy now off first view. So the takeaway from this was, don't be afraid to challenge the best practice, because in this case, it did convert higher. And users were not dismayed by having to scroll down in order to get to the add to cart or the buy now section. So that was important. The third one was explore testing. What should we add to our content site? What do our customers care about? Can we do more of this? So in this next test, you'll see version 1, a version 4, and a version 5. And what was the best way to navigate on the mobile site? So this was a navigation test. You'll see the original on the left. In this case, they hid the navigation within the hamburger at the top. Version 1, they put a fixed navigation with words only at the bottom. Version 4, they added icons with those navigation words paired together. And version 5, they pushed the word navigations to the top of the page. And in this case, you can see it was a traditional word-only navigation fixed to the bottom that won the day, 16.6 revenue increase. So tools to use that they use are a tool called Convert. They also use Telegems, which is on Shopify, and another one called Elevate, which is also on Shopify. And Chris's impetus was that you don't know what you don't know until you test. And that's why testing kind of yields real live data, and now we're able to make informed decisions on design changes. The next session I wanted to cover is scaling business on TikTok. And this was with Michelle Barnum-Smith. She's a TikTok shop partner. And she highlighted that TikTok prioritizes discovery and delight through their content and the algorithms that they implement. They customize the user experience with those algorithms, and they created a platform where the e-commerce part of TikTok, being able to purchase product, is kept on platform. It's called the 15-second conversion. And it allows users to, let's say it's an affiliate marketer who's created a content piece, he's promoting a product. Users can click right in the platform, go to the page, which is a web page, but it's in TikTok. It also gives the user the option of seeing in browser, and then it takes that page and opens it in browser. So now if a user, say, wanted to just come back to it later, they could see it on their other browser on mobile, or they can engage with it right then, do the purchase, and then go back into TikTok. The ideal product price point is between 20 and 40 or sub 60. And what we're going to talk about here with her presentation was how to structure top, middle, and bottom funnel dynamics. And so the top of funnel spills over into other channels. It could spill over into a Shopify site. It could spill over into an Amazon link, and it goes from awareness, interest, consideration, purchase, and then retention. And so one of the examples that they had a marketer from this brand, Final Boss Sour, which is a candy, present how they do their content creation on TikTok. And this was not a brand that I was familiar with earlier. It's not really my gig, nor was their content kind of my jam. I really kind of found it absolutely annoying. but for a lot of younger demographic, they seem to like it. So this is where they take fresh fruit, they dry it, then they dip it in a plethora of citric acid to create 4, I think maybe even 5 levels of sour, and it's extremely sour. But what they focus on is engaging, educational, controversial, entertaining content. It's weird. Their content is iPhone shot. It's low budget. It's absolutely cheeseball, bad actors, and overly dramatic. But that didn't matter, because for them it was about consistency and volume of content creation. And as they moved into the middle funnel, the focus changes to features, details, demonstrations. Then in their bottom of the funnel, they're price centric, they're discount centric, time sensitive, or doing special offers. They do live streams, and they provide discounts on those streams for those who are watching. And they do 1 to 2 hour live events for brand recognition and conversions every day. So here's the stats. This is their formula. They do 1 to 3 top of funnel content pieces a month. They promote products. They do about 30 to 50 videos a month for product promotion. They try to create a scarcity and excitement based around any time-sensitive inventory schedules. So if they're about to run out of a certain flavor, they'll do a scarcity kind of excitement. Hey, we're about to run out, buy this now, yada, yada. And they do about 30 of those videos a month. And then they build hype for all their going live daily activities. The third session I'm going to cover right now is retrievability beats discoverability. Why brands are prioritizing perfect product data with AI. This is with Ecom and the CEO, John Ricketts. And their product is one that optimizes business product catalogs, the detail pages. And they can do small business, but I think their sweet spot are businesses that have tens of thousands of SKUs in their product catalogs. They use algorithms to prioritize the product detail pages. Why? Because the social platforms are demanding new category nichification platforms. So what that means is like TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, they're outranking Google for product discovery among Gen Z. And these are micro niches within the social apps. So like TikTok or IG, Pinterest, they're able to promote these very small niches of product types. And so the social platforms are now demanding that product detail pages be designed with that in mind. And so the social feed is now becoming the product category sensor. And this is kind of a new emergence. The search is increasingly AI driven. Brands must have product databases that are retrievable before they can be discoverable, especially through AI search. And products have to be structured in ways that the platforms can understand. So here's what the search engine expectations are. All the product detail pages have to be structured. They've got to have consistent product naming and product content machine readable. They've got to be interpretable by algorithms like Google, Meta, TikTok. They have to be aligned across PDPs, that's product detail page feeds and metadata, and continuously refreshed and updated to reflect the current demand and the buyer intent. So their platform helps businesses optimize all of these product detail pages. And there's kind of two outcomes for product data: suppressed or boosted. And under suppressed, it's like reduced visibility, lower impressions. This is if the product catalog is not optimized. It creates increased paid media inefficiency or a higher cost per acquisition cost, CAC, and lost revenue. So this is where their niche is. They can boost visibility, higher impressions, greater efficiency, and revenue by optimizing the product detail page. So here's an example: the anatomy of a high-performing PDP. On the right, you'll see this is how their platform is optimizing a product detail page. At the top is an SEO title. It's 50 to 60 characters. All of these parameters, by the way, even on the meta description that shows 140 to 160 characters, these are not, or the HTML content 100 to 300 words. They didn't invent this. These are the parameters that the AI, Google, Meta have already established. And so their platform is optimizing what the product detail page information on the right based on these requirements on the left, so that that product detail information is optimized for search. And it is able to take advantage of all the benefits of AI search and Google Meta search. So these are the steps that they established to optimize PDPs at scale. And they connect directly to the PIM, the CMS, the ERP for that product catalog. They audit each product to scan it to see if it's missing metadata, or if it's poor structure, or if it's outdated content. They use AI and search intelligent data to rewrite the SEO titles and the descriptions. Then they publish that update automatically, and then they refresh it. So their platform is basically set up to scan for constant improvement. And that's what businesses are buying their platform for. And here's an example of Levi's. So they're able to take the product detail page, in this case for a 5'11" slim fit men's jean, okay, which has a main product image and then subsidiary, product images and a video. And they're able to go into their platform and optimize based on that template I showed earlier, with the title, the description, keywords, URL, and so forth, so that this product is optimized among all the other Levi products, so it's easily searchable and findable, retrievable, I should say. So this was a great deep dive into how AI is being used to optimize the user experience as a UX designer, to be able to go in and make sure that product detail pages are meeting the best qualifications in order to be retrievable and discoverable on AI. So the takeaways were, algorithms are looking at the entire product catalog. So even the bottom products also need tender loving care, because AI is scraping the entire thing. Typical problems are image alt text, or a lack of ADA compliance, or performance metrics. The context matters over the keywords. So this is in line with how are buyers buying. Are they on a social app on their mobile device? Then that kind of usurps the traditional marketing approach of brands needing to buy keywords on Google, because that's not applicable now. They're right into the social app. All products have to be indexed, or AI Google can't find them. And there's got to be special considerations for some brands that are under strict regulations, like firearms or supplements. The product detail pages need to meet very strict requirements for that. And it may be necessary to integrate in e-com's platform a 24/7 diagnostic surveillance that continues to scan the catalog and make sure that it's up to date. The next session I wanted to cover is building a subscription first brand. And this was a group presentation with Nick Bellinger, Brad Savage, Roxanne Wise, and Alice Jackson. Roxanne and Alice own subscription companies in Utah. Brad was actually from Dallas, and he's from Garden Cup. All of their businesses are subscription first brands. And this was a really keen insight into how they have had to strategize their product offering in order to maintain a high level of customer retention. So they've had to create very compelling offers to entice customers to keep their subscriptions. And so their marketing focus is on a desired lifestyle and in their case, healthy habits. Why do I say healthy habits? Because that's particular to their target audiences of, eating fresh foods and, like the Beehive Meals and Garden Cup. Rookie Wellness is a women's only supplement brand. And so healthy habits is part of their customer base, their target acquisition. So here are some subscription retention strategies that they implement. And there's quite a few of them. The pricing the subscription slightly below a one-time product purchase. And in their case, they were willing to go about 10% on the discount. They said if you discount too much on the first sale, you risk compromising your lifetime value to customer acquisition cost ratio. And that is a measure of how efficiently your brand is turning acquisition spend into long-term revenue. So the sweet spot is actually a 2.25 to 1 ratio. That means for every dollar spent on acquiring the customer, you're earning $2.25 over the lifetime of that customer. If, for example, you had a 3 to 1 ratio, it means that you need to spend more for growth. If your ratio was 2 to 1, then you would need to spend, you're spending too much. So another strategy is that they provide intro offers and free trials and free shipping. They offer a loyalty program where subscribers earn points each month to receive a greater amount of a discount off of their order, their recurring order. And the points build up the longer they're a subscriber. So that's a keen incentive for their customers to stay on the subscription. And they allocate marketing budget towards content that educates why their product is better and therefore priced the way that it is. Some other strategies are for perishable products, which two of theirs were. The best ingredients are actually sourced overseas compared to retailers, which have a different requirement for product shelf life, which actually ends up being 6 to 18 months. So this is something I didn't know, but this was really kind of cool to learn and understand. Their cost per acquisition, customer acquisition costs on supplements is very high, which is why apparently a lot of supplement companies have to get VC money for the first 12 months. They did suggest being wary of offering customized subscription orders because they could be too complex to fulfill efficiently. They emphasize that social proofs are critical and that they monitor their social channels for customer feedback in order to make quick pivots to their product lines. Some of the brands were trying to make the jump from being just their own brand and doing subscription subscription fulfillment on their own into jumping into the retail market, like getting into Whole Foods or something like that. And they needed to negotiate with those retailers to allow enough time to fulfill POs rather than tying up a bunch of capital on inventory. So that was insightful. The next session I want to cover is precision growth, using AI to acquire your best customers. This was with Julia Nguyen from Proxima. And this is an interesting platform because Proxima is allowing, it's a platform that allows marketers to be very targeted on how they get to their customers. So she asked, how should we be using AI? And her answer was to do data analysis, to do customer feedback reviews, and to optimize product descriptions, which, by the way, also tied into what Ecom did earlier. So how to understand and acquire the right customers. Using AI, they use AI to write the customer personas for the ideal customer profile, but they want to be aware of dialectical thinking. So for example, saying something like, who cares about clean ingredients? That could be like a statement in a marketing piece. Who cares about clean ingredients? Well, when we say that in English, it could be construed to denote a negative connotation, like assuming no one cares. Who cares? Who cares about clean ingredients? Whereas if it's rephrased as, who is it that cares about clean ingredients? That clarifies a positive connotation. We know that people care, and who are they? So that was kind of an interesting, as we use AI, we've got to be careful about how we use dialectical thinking, how we construct the prompt, engineer the prompt so that the ICP is coming through in the right way with positive connotations. So I'm going to share an example of a brand that I designed years ago with Gisele Bündchen. It was called Seja. She's from Brazil, and the word Seja is Portuguese for to be. And she wanted to come out with a skincare line. She approached me to help her design it. And so this is an example of the ideal customer. We thought that the ideal customer was a females 30 to 40s who wanted clean living to improve skin hydration in elasticity. But what we found was that females 60 and above were using the same product, wanted improved joint health. They could use the same product for that. And that demographic was getting 40% growth. So we realized after doing our research that we had to market to both demographics. We had to expand our ICP to include those in their 60s. So here's the new way to let AI do the heavy lifting. We have our owned buyer data. You know, what did they buy from us? What was it on sale? Was it a gift? What was the creative that they saw? Where did they live? And then on the other side, we have shared cross-brand data. What else did they buy from other brands? What other creative resonates with them? What does their broader lifestyle look like? And then we try to pair the two together. So when we run the campaign, you actually see how it reached the target audience. What was the creative that worked best? So here's a few examples how the new way is emerging. Let's say you wanted to promote a warm coat. You could email your customer base when the local temperature dropped. So this is using AI with a platform like Proxima to know where your customer is, what the temperature is, where they live, and be able to have a customized email issued to that customer in their locale when the customer dropped in order to promote a particular product that would be of interest to them based on the temperature dropping. Another example is you opt in for a mobile notification when the best time is to refill your car with gas. Because now local gas stations are changing the price of gas dynamically through the day based on high traffic times. So it used to be the gas price was kind of fixed on a fixed sign. Now they're all digital and they change dynamically throughout the day. So like using AI in a platform that could issue you a notice, hey, gas price just dropped 10, 15, 20 cents per gallon based on the time of day that you go to get it, that would be compelling to a customer. Another example is connect an upsell product opportunity to your existing customer base. So let's say you're a dentist and you want to promote a teeth whitening product. You could send a pre-notice to your already scheduled patients that are about to come in for their cleaning with a discount code to add that service when they came in. And then the final session I wanted to cover is future-proofing your brand in the AI area. And this is with Nathan Snell from Raylion. This is a platform that actually automates all the steps of creating content so that your brand shows up on AI search and ranks highly. So his question was, how do you rank on AI search? This is actually a trick question, and we're going to answer this at the end of my deck here. So he covers 3 essentials to creative content. This image that you're seeing was actually AI generated, and it was for a brand called Kuru. And even though the image is fake, it's still on point for the brand, and it still is able to show the feature benefits for that particular shoe. So the 3 essentials are a brand summary, 2 sentences, keeping with the style guides for the brand, like primary visual strategy, colors, copy, and then an image reference for impact. And these are the top tools that he uses for content creation, depending on if it's being used for analysis, for copywriting and layout, for design, or for human models. And ChatGPT or Grok, you can see, like, for human models, ideogram character. And he outlined the steps to take. In this case, these 4 steps and the things that he uses, but their platform Raylion is actually like a workflow process that automates all of these steps for their customers. So here's some important stats for consideration. He showed 2 case studies. One was a brand called Pretty Boy, another one was called eHouse. When they implemented these steps for their content creation with AI, Pretty Boy was able to do 15 plus campaigns in 70% less time. eHouse spent 25 hours less a week and got 94% increase in click rate. They found that 60% of US searches now have AI overviews for those products. There's a 3x conversion rate from ChatGPT traffic for products, 25% increase in the average order value from ChatGPT traffic. Why? Because trust has been built, so customers are willing to spend more. And this is really interesting. 21% of Google's AI results are using Reddit in its citations. So it's now becoming more imperative for brands to create content on Reddit in order to capture those AI, to be a citation on AI search results. Some other stats for consideration. The more brand mentions and links you have, the greater your authority as a brand. And what is creating the most authority is long form content. And they shared a template. He shared a template on what long form content needed to be. The best authority is getting the most cited, and AI goes deeper into the search than just SEO on page 1, like Google pages. It goes much deeper. So we need to give AI the content that it craves. And so the caveat to this was, how do you know what your AI rank is for your brand? And the bottom line is you don't, because it's scrubbing so many variables, like the product description page, your mentions, your links, your SEO, your Reddit page, other product reviews, customer reviews, social platforms. There's so many variants that AI is now scrubbing that it's very challenging to know which source of that is influencing your AI rank. So their suggestion is, take the top questions that your customers ask about your brand, put it into ChatGPT, see how the brand comes up. And if it's not showing up the way that you want it, then it's going to be necessary to answer those questions in the way that you want, and to use these suggestions above, brand mentions, links, authority, long form content, in order to increase the citations for AI search. And with that, I will open it up to some questions. I think I went a little fast. But any questions?
I have more of a comment than a question. So I didn't know that the gas station would change the prices dynamically through the day based on time of day. So
yeah, isn't that crazy?
Very new for me, and it irritates me.
Yeah, that is definitely a thing, especially here in Texas and Oklahoma, because a lot of the I think this is just kind of an optimization that they've found over time. A lot of the refineries are here, and so they ship locally. So a lot of the brands for the gas stations are based on which city you're in. I mean, like when I go on a drive, say down the 35, I don't have to drive. I could drive maybe 30 miles. And in that 30 miles of just going through maybe a couple of towns, there's a drastic variation in the gas price from the same branded station.
Well, and I see that based on location, but I didn't know that a specific location would change it through the day. That's just crazy.
Yeah. It changes by the city, and it changes through the day based on the traffic times.
It's very interesting to me, Jared, the dynamic pricing. So thanks. That was interesting. That's all I have
you bet.
Comment. And well done.
I was going to make a comment regarding what you said about, putting your brand into a chat client or an AI client and just seeing what comes up as a developer. I think that would be an extremely frustrating process, because there's not as fast a turnaround with AI models, right? If you put something into your AI client and you don't like the results, you then have to go adjust your site, your application, and then get those deployed. But now you're at the mercy of the AI, whichever AI it is, to be retrained and everything. And so, I mean, that could be a longer cycle to improve your AI presence there, which just means that we need to figure out how to do it, right? We need to figure out what that process looks like.
Yeah,
the first time.
You're right, Dallin. Unfortunately, we with AI kind of it's continuing to learn, and we're trying to figure out exactly how it's prioritizing the results on a query. That falls within that old adage of where there's mystery, there's margin. The mystery is, how is AI, where is AI scrubbing? What's it prioritizing? What's it throwing out versus what it keeps? How do we know, that the data it's scrubbing is up to date? And all that mystery is influencing the margin, so to speak, of what the result is. And so you're right. the more that we want to control AI, the less mystery we want to have. We want to control, like, okay, hey, this is where you're going to look.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, it was eye-opening for me, for example, to realize that like this last stat that Google's using Reddit for its citations, 21% of it. Yeah.
No, I really like these statistics. I like numbers. Numbers make me happy. So it's good to see data like this. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Any other questions? Then I went way too fast, didn't I?
It's okay. You did great. Thank you.